What is going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and it's time to talk about Zap Mass Witch at Town Hall 11. We're going to break down everything that you need to know about using the Zap Mass Witch. Everything from using different siege machines like the Wall Wrecker and Siegeberg, and just how to use the lightning spells and witches. So if you guys enjoyed this type of content and want to see more Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12 content here on the channel, make sure that you are subscribed and ringing the notification bell for more of my educational Clash of Clans content. But without further ado, let's get started. That is right, guys, we are going over the Zap Mass Witch. This attack strategy is very basic, very easy to do. You can even add some bowlers in here if you don't want to have so many witches, but this works incredibly well. What are you looking for in this attack? Primarily, you're just looking for a couple things. You're looking for the clan castle, or you're not really looking for the clan castle, you're looking for the Inferno Towers to use the lightning spells on, because you have 8 lightning, 4 on each of those, and a quake on each of them. And then you also want to use the Wall Wrecker and try to get rid of the Eagle Artillery as quickly as possible. That's it. That's it. That's all you really need to do. Outside of that, as long as you have witches on the outside, on either side here, and have some witches going through, you're going to overwhelm all the defenses. You'll take down the clan castle with ease, and you'll be able to push through. That is really it for this attack. There's not too much to say about it. We've got 4 examples for you guys to really give you a really good example. This can be used without having access to the siege barrack. And if you're seeing the town hall in the core, don't worry, this is like the easiest way to kind of really push your way in. And it's just by using witches, which is extremely strong. You'll see the use of the Zap Quake here, getting rid of the Inferno Towers, and also getting rid of some of the defenses around there. And then what we're doing with the golems is using them kind of to tank for the witches, but also for this Wall Wrecker. That way it gets through most of the base as they start to push through. And that's it. You really don't need a rage spell for the witches, as you don't really want to boost them up. For the most part, you want to make sure that they're just walking slow around, having a tank in front of them, because you want to spawn as many skeletons as you can. And you'll see that even when dealing with the clan castle troops, you've got a poison, but you have so many witches and skeletons that they're just going to easily take care of this. Now, popping the warn ability is also very good as well. You want to use that really whenever you can. But for the most part, take a look at this base and see how easy this attack is. There's so many skeletons out on the field. There really isn't too much to kind of explain other than making sure that you're able to kind of get the Wall Wrecker that maybe has like a Valkyrie or so. You can see a couple of Valkyries in there that's going to break through some walls using the Rage. Other than that, though, it's a very simple attack. This is all you're doing, is just spamming witches and allowing yourself to get a lot deeper into the base with the Wall Wrecker. If you have access to it, of course, everyone should have access to the Wall Wrecker, and this works with low-level heroes too. So definitely something that I would recommend really trying out. It's this attack. Now, don't worry, we have more examples of how you guys can use this on different bases, but this is just one of other different, replays of using this attack. And in my personal opinion, this might be the best Town Hall 11 attack strategy that is currently in the game. So definitely something to try out, but let's go ahead and move on into the next example using a siege barrack instead. Now, here's a variation using it with the siege barrack. Now, if it is possible for you to use the siege barrack with this, it's definitely going to be something that I would probably prefer for the most part. This one here is a very simple way of taking this down. Remember that you're looking for 3 main things: the Eagle Artillery and getting rid of the multi-infernos. So the multi-infernos are going to get taken down with the Zap Quake, no problem. If we go ahead and use a super wall breaker right to the way in to get into here, we're giving ourselves access to the Eagle Artillery. The rest of the base is history. Nothing else is more easy than this. If the Eagle Artillery is in the core of the base and the Town Hall is also in the core, it might be a better option to use the Wall Wrecker. But other than that, that is it. That's your base identification. That's all you really need to do with this. It's very simple. and it's really just goes to show how strong this really is. We've got golems again in order to make sure that we are creating some tankage for our witches, and you'll see that the earthquake spells and the lightning are being used in order to kind of make sure that we're creating a funnel. And take a look at all of these witches. Everything is being placed in one corner. Everything is being placed in one corner. Other than that, let your witches go. You don't even need spells for them realistically. Now, if you're going to be using a Siegeberg, I would suggest using the Hog Riders. They're going to help clear out some of the defenses around the base, especially if you don't get to the Eagle Artillery or if the Eagle's a little bit deeper set. Using the Hog Riders to get to the defenses like the Eagle Artillery are going to be very, very good. And you'll see that we have some of those Hog Riders going in for the Eagle Artillery and a couple more of these defensive buildings. Other than that, though, take a look at how kind of everything kind of splits here. We've got witches going down this way. We've got some witches and a golem and P.E.K.K.A going down this way. We have some going into the core. You know, you have them kind of fanning out everywhere, and we have so many of the skeletons up that we're just able to easily push through. And even having the Hog Riders there with the heal really does help as well. You can just see how simple is this strategy really is. I mean, this is a very simple attack. If you want something easier, then really look no further to this attack. The other attacks I would suggest are definitely like stuff like Zap Dragons. Those are also very easy, but this one is completely easy. This absolutely wrecks bases. I've always mentioned that Bow Witch is always going to be very good, especially against those common ring bases. Witches are also no exception to this. Adding the lightning spells to dealing with multi-infernos, and you could possibly do the same thing maybe versus the Eagle Artillery if it's in the core. You could use the lightning spells on that instead, or even just use them on the clan castle to get rid of that. You really don't need to do a whole heck of a lot to push through. This works really well on both multis and single target infernos, and you could just see how well it works. So let's go show you guys another example, a couple more examples using the Wall Wrecker, and maybe even a little bit later on some Zap Bow examples as well. And yet we have more. We have another example of this, and we're not going to even explain anymore. We're just going to show you guys this attack. This one has a centralized Eagle Artillery, and we may pause it in between just to kind of explain a couple things that go through, but very similar. We are using the Wall Wrecker because we noticed that the Town Hall is on the opposite side. So you want to take advantage of where that Town Hall is placed for the most part. That's just going to help you find the right area. And again, we're using the witches in one location while we send everything in. We've got the golems there to specifically tank for the witches and for the Wall Wrecker as they push through. Even something like the Inferno Dragon there, which we are going to use the Warn ability in order to protect the witches, the Wall Wrecker, in order to keep everything from going through. That way, that Inferno Dragon didn't take down our Wall Wrecker. But again, we want to get to the Eagle Artillery as quickly as we can, and that way we're just going to be able to start overwhelming the rest of the base, because that's the final main splash damage defense that we need to take down. And you'll see that we're using Valkyries, but instead of using them with a rage, we're using them with a heal spell, and that's going to keep them alive as they start to move through. It could have been better with the rage spell. They would have been able to push through a little bit quicker, but if you guys are interested in using Valkyries, that might not be such a bad idea in your Wall Wrecker. We did see that in the first example as well. And you can see how everything is kind of pushing through. We don't even need a lot of spells with this. We just need the Clan Castle spell, which for the most part will be a rage. If you do not have max earthquake spells, I would suggest getting them in the Clan Castle from your clanmates and bringing a rage spell from yourself. That way you're going to be able to still have a rage for the Valkyries if you're planning on using the Wall Wrecker. This strategy is super simple. There's really nothing easier than this attack. Witches are just going to overwhelm a lot of these bases, especially if they're going with multi-infernos. This is definitely something that I would suggest if you're going to be seeing those, and even against single target infernos, witches are the best option. It's always going to depend on where the clan castle is placed, or it depends on where the Eagle Artillery is placed, but for the most part, this strategy is really simple. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more examples of using witches with the lightning spells again. So here's an example of using this against a base that has the Eagle Artillery centralized. That is going to be one of the biggest things that I was mentioning. So this is a good example of dealing with those type of bases. Of course, the Town Hall isn't in the center, but you'll still get a good idea of what I'm talking about by making sure that we're able to use the wall wrecker to go straight across is going to be the biggest thing. Now you'll see here that we're going to be using the Zap quick. I'm zooming out here, or I'm zoomed out because it's a little bit wider of a base, but all we're just trying to do is use some witches on one particular side, create one side here of the funnel, do the same thing on the opposite side with the golems there to tank, and kind of we're just fanning out everything as we're kind of moving through. Then we have the wall wrecker to go right over towards that town hall, and we've got the warden right behind the wall wrecker in order to protect it as it moves through. The witches are just going to start overwhelming a lot of these defensive buildings as they continue to push through. Now, some of you guys may ask, what about dealing with E-Drag clan castles? Don't worry, skeletons will be there. You'll have so many skeletons that it's going to be distracted on those and not your witches. And for the most part, your queen should be able to step up and take it down. And you'll see that we're using that wall wrecker again, and we're pushing everything into the core because we're going to make sure that we're using that wall wrecker. Like you see here, look at the sliver of health that the wall wrecker was on. And as it pushes through, we have Valkyries in there, and we even have a rage to push them through the rest of the base. This is how simple this attack strategy really is. It just goes to show that you can smash a base in maybe 2 minutes or even a minute. So definitely, this is an attack strategy I would totally learn to use. It's not hard, and you've got a lot of witches still up. You still got some witches over here. They're pushing themselves through the base. We got the skeletons just overwhelming a lot of these defensive buildings, and they're just allowing us to kind of get through a large part of this one. But for the most part, that is it. That's all you're doing. Now make sure that you are being careful of spring traps. Those can still harm your witches. So something good to keep in mind is that you want to make sure that you're getting rid of a large portion of those possible areas of spring traps. Might not be entirely, it might not be entirely like, you're not able to predict where every single one is, but as long as you're able to create a good funnel, send your wall wrecker in with your heroes, and smash the core, you're going to be able to really do a very good job with this. Now let's go ahead and show you guys some Zap Bow Witch, and show you guys more examples of this Zap Witch related attack. For this final example, we've got the Zap Bow Witch, which is going to be adding the bowlers instead of just having witches. I'm going to say this, in this war that I just checked, there were quite a few Zap Witches. So this strategy right now is probably the best and easiest way to 3-star a Town Hall 11. Trust me. This strategy is extremely viable. So what you're doing with the bowlers is you have a lot of power now to kind of push your way through. The bowlers require some spell space, so you either want to use a heal spell with them or a rage spell with them. In this case, we're going to use the heal with them and the Hog Riders. So we want to make sure, though, that we're pushing our way right in, and we've got the Siegeberg to either create one side of the funnel or kind of use right behind, have that P.E.K.K.A. go in along with a couple wizards from the Siegeberg, and have the Hog Riders work themselves around the base to the Eagle Artillery. That is really all that you need to understand about using this attack. We showed you guys a lot of attacks of just using the lightning spells with just witches, like 14, 13 witches, and then just kind of spamming everything as you move through. Even just placing it all in one location works extremely well. Now remember that you are using a Zap Quake, so you are trying to take down the Inferno Towers. This means that if you're seeing single target Infernos, it could be a better idea to use the lightning spells on something like the Eagle Artillery, or maybe something else like the Clan Castle. In this case here, the Clan Castle was offset, so we didn't need to worry about it because we had a poison spell for them. So what we're doing at this point is having some of the bowlers and a wizard there in order to kind of funnel out one side, And then we're going to use the golems to tank for the witches and for the bowlers as they push through. If there's a lot of good bowler bounce value that you can get from the outside, I would suggest using some of them for the funnel. Other than that, I would try to push them into the base, as you've got the P.E.K.K.A, you've got your heroes moving in, and all of that is going to be pushing right into the base. You can also use the king on the other side to create a little bit more of a funnel and a tank for your P.E.K.K.As or for your bowlers and for your witches. So you'll see as we're pushing through, we're going to use the Warren ability in order to protect the bowlers, the wizards, and the witches as they start to move into the base. Now, when they get closer to dealing with the clan castle troops, we're just going to use a poison on them, because most of the time, it's not really going to be that much of a big deal. Usually, sometimes it's something like archers or baby dragon like you see here, but we can just drop a poison spell on them and get rid of it easy. And you'll see the use of the heal spell as well in order to keep the witches, the bowlers, and the hog riders alive, because they're pushing in with them. And as they get closer to the this Eagle artillery, we're just allowing them to be at full health, and they're just going to easily take care of it. So this is the reason to why this attack strategy is so easy. You have two different siege machines that you can use, the Wall Wrecker or the Siegeberg, and they both work really well. This works really well with low-level heroes, and it's smashing literally every single base design that you can really do this attack on. So other than that though, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully that you guys kind of learned something from this video. I know that this was an easy attack strategy, but if you're looking for something that is going to 3-star every or most Town Hall 11s, I would suggest using this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure that you guys are letting me know what you guys think of this. Are you having success with this attack coming back to this video? So definitely make sure that you guys let me know. Other than that, remember to subscribe, ring the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. Don't forget to also go ahead and feel free to follow me over on the social. Follow me over on Twitch, as that is where all my streams are at, including Town Hall 11, V11 No Siege 5v5, and 12v12 Wars. Along with that, make sure that you guys are also going ahead and joining my community Discord server. The link to that is in the description. And make sure that you're using code CorruptYT in the Clash Champ shop to save 10% off your purchase. Other than that though, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.